In the documentary Project Socialized by Cade Hughesby, social media is once again the topic of debate. The main points of the documentary were to focus on the lack of human interaction skills post-smartphone generation and the ways in which social media can have negative effects on children and adults across the world. Before, there was the ability to have a conversation with someone instantaneously through screens on phones. People were required to actually look into each other's eyes and carry on a meaningful conversation. But now, it's extremely rare and almost impossible to get to know someone without the interference of technology. People no longer need to possess the social skills because almost everything can be done behind a screen, including the ability to date or communicate with friends or get to know new people and maybe even get hired for a job. Especially now in the age of Zoom, everything's getting worse. We almost never have to look at new people face to face. But this change has also come with some negative side effects. The generations that grow up with technology have spent most of their time behind a screen. So it's kind of rare to see a fifth grader without an iPhone, which is something even I would have never seen because they weren't even popular when I was in fifth grade. So that's crazy how quickly it all changed, but yeah, so since they spend most of their time behind a screen, they have lower interaction abilities when it comes to picking up on social cues or finding the correct way to behave around other people in real life. They might not have those experiences like the older generations have. Personally, for me, there's nothing more annoying than trying to have a conversation with someone but not having their full attention because they won't look up from their phones. And if children are growing up with these screens put right in front of their faces, how are they expected to understand or be prepared for the parts of life where they must behave to a certain standard? The second main argument of the documentary is that social media has negative impacts on our physical being as well as our mental health. The three most common negative effects experienced, according to the documentary, are FOMO, anxiety, and poor interaction skills, all due to social media. FOMO stands for the fear of missing out, and that has an overwhelming effect on the mental health of young people all over, especially the ones that only can see their friends through social media right now. No matter who or what is happening, when looking at something you're not involved in, there is a desire to be included. Not only can something like this make you jealous, but you can even start to question yourself and what is different about your life than the ones of the people you follow. Scrolling through Instagram can seem harmless, but our brains are causing us to question ourselves when we see someone with something we don't have. For example, one thing I've noticed recently is the pressure of a timeline and how that is just more demanding than ever right now. Maybe only 5 people you follow are getting married this year, but seeing those 5 couples post about their engagement nearly every day can make you kind of start to question yourself and the status of your life, maybe where you're at. I may only be 21, but am I doing something wrong with my life because I'm nowhere near being engaged, or I see people on my timeline buying their own house, and I know I can't do that. I'm just a struggling college student with a part-time job. But seeing these people makes me wonder, what did they do that I did wrong? Like, am I not going about my life in the right way? So comparing yourselves to others like this is terrible for your mental health, but it's not possible to prevent when only the best parts of people's lives are thrown into your face every day. Nobody posts about how they failed their last math class. They only post about the A they got in their psychology class. And that's true for almost every aspect of life. No one's going to post about the bad day they had. They're going to post about the amazing dinner that they had. Maybe they're eating by themselves and they had a horrible day, but all we're going to see is that awesome dinner that's cooked and on their table, and we're probably going to assume that they're enjoying it with someone they love and that they're having a great time while we're at home eating a frozen meal. And that's just like the damage that social media has done to us and our brains, and I think it's only going to get worse if we keep progressing in this way. The documentary did show a few different approaches towards social media that explain ways in which they plan to diminish the negative environment that has rapidly developed, such as there was a app creator that developed a app that instead of posting on Instagram every day, like only the days you had a great day, he decided to record 1 second of every day, no matter what he was doing. He could be lying in bed watching TV, or he could be in Hawaii. And I think the point of this was to just kind of reveal the truth behind real life. Not every day is going to be a fabulous adventure where you can share on Instagram and make other people jealous and cause them to want to be more like you. But with the 1 second a day, you pick something that's going on in your regular life, and I think it's kind of a good thing that can help people realize that we all kind of are in the same boat, and looking down on ourselves isn't really helping much. However, platforms like this stand little to no chance at actually having an impact when there's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat that control almost everything. And as much as we are able to acknowledge the problem, there's very little that people are actually willing to do to put an end to it. So I think the documentary did a good job at pointing out the negative aspects of social media and technology, but I think it's also important to talk about some more steps we can make in putting an end to this horrible environment that has such negative effects on kids' mental health, because if something doesn't change, then we're all gonna kind of grow up, or have our children grow up in a world that is just automatically defeating from the start.